I've been trying to for like weeks, actually yeah, weeks, in-game months, trying to join for Forbidden Door. But just joining the Alliance in general. But I've actually found a way to do it, which is actually pretty easy. Now, I want to show, I'm not going to join WWE, because I can't. It's just funny that that's the reason why. WWE does not like us. We could join the UUN or UWN. Has NWA in it. We could join International Independent Wrestling.tv thing. I mean, one of our shows is on that. I think Legendary Toxic is still being broadcast on that, so it makes sense. Cyber Fight, we just can't. Oh god, oof. It's an oof moment. We are eligible to join for Forbidden Door, which has AEW, which I have a positive relationship with, Impact, which I have made sure we have a positive relationship with. We have a positive relationship with New Japan of America, and we do have a mildly negative with New Japan. It might be the only reason why we get denied here. Whoa! Is this cheap? Okay. I am now a member of the Forbidden Door. Everyone, welcome to an episode of TEW Toxic. A more saddening way to start off the show, as wrestling star Shima died aged 43 by a road traffic accident in the save, of course. We start off the show with a tribute and 10-bell salute. Despite the fact they aren't a part of ICW, they are still, at least I know them. So, at least I know them, and I don't usually know that many like wrestlers from Japan, so that's a big thing. But they actually died, and it's a tribute to them. To start off the show, we have all of the big people. We have Heyman, Samoa Joe, the world champ Bryan Danielson, his future opponent Silver, at full throttle because they're better tag team but here than tag champs. Jonathan Gresham, the international champion, and his manager Sean Waltman. The opening contest in a semi of a 57 in a decent match. Brian Pillman Jr. defeating former international champion Leo Rush in 12:54 by pinfall with a tornado. That doesn't sound right, but it is right. Tornado DDT, semi of 57. Brian Pillman Jr. with a 52. Leo Rush with a 57. Of course, Pillman and Garrison are a good pairing. I also want to say that Griff Garrison, yeah, it's about Griff Garrison. Bryan Danielson took Griff Garrison under his wing to be his protege, which it's a good run for Griff Garrison, you know, like Bryan Danielson, you know, being your mentor. It's a good rub, but how was I expecting it? It's kind, and also I kind of was not. Griff Garrison could be more of the Jannetty to Pillman's Shawn Michaels, so yikes there. He kind of evens them out a bit. Semi of 51 backstage. Samoa Joe still in a suit after, you know, last week apologising, not being allowed to wrestle, yada yada yada. He gets counted by EC3, who, you know, he shouldn't be this confident going up to Samoa Joe, but you can see Joe is dishevelled. He is. His only chance to get back into actual wrestling has been thwarted. He's basically going into an early retirement, kind of. He's not really happy by it. And EC3 encounters him, which I think I already said. But he just laughs and mocks Samoa Joe, calls him weak, says he's going soft. The old Samoa Joe would have fought against management instead of just giving up easily. The old Samoa Joe would have, you know, cared more about losing his wrestling career. Basically, it's just EC3 being a massive prick for like a minute or two, which I think he's good at. I think that'd be like, easy enough for him. So, you know, well done to him. Same way to 53, a pre-match promo, which I didn't put down. It's just a regular promo. a pre-match promo as Big Money Matt is basically is introducing his investment to the world, the franchise players, which are being called. I know it's not the best name, but I don't care. They're known as the franchise players. They aligned last week. Matt Hardy invested in them, and he's ready to watch that in action. Up next, Hot Fresh Players. And basically giving them like a little rub from Matt Hardy with 3 weeks here. A little rub. We go into the tag match and win a 49 in a poor match. The franchise players defeat Death by Elbow in 13:55 when Chris Bay pins JT Gunn with an Art of Finesse. Chris Bay getting the pinfall win, which is unlikely for him, so he hasn't won that much during this. Chris here with head and shoulders with everyone else. Shane Strickland getting a 45, Chris Bay for 43, JT Dunn with a 35, and Chris Hero with a 55. And if you look underneath, fuck. Okay. Shit. Why should have planned? I should have tried this out sooner. Okay. So Chris Bay and Shane Strickland have absolutely zero chemistry as partners, which is bullshit. But okay, I guess. Fine. Oh, great. Chris Bay's inconsistent, and they have no chemistry at all. That's not cool. Okay. So anyway, a 59. We're going to move away from that. So of 59. Silver. Oh god, I spelled his and history wrong now. It's basically just a promo to get people who aren't acquainted with Silver, you know. I'll run my down like wrestling history. There's people mainly known for his time in WWE. He might have done stuff before. He did do stuff before WWE. Not as many people know about that. So it's a time for people to get well acquainted with wrestling's best kept secret. You know, people may have liked him, but he didn't do much in WWE aside from being a disciple. So, you know, do we have to address that? I don't know. I'm not the best at booking, like, building promos, and if both of them both wrestlers for the main event match being faces of sort, it's kind of wacky there. So in a 42, another pre-match promo from Alex. No, it's not. It's from Alex Shelley and Trey Miguel. You know, before Destruction Crew beat the tag champs and then stole the titles, they were the ones who should have been in line for a title shot. I mean, they've cleanly defeated the tag champs, and then nothing happened because of it. They were swept to the side, being booked in singles matches when they aligned together to win tag gold, and it's not what they want. They want to defeat the Von Alex to become tag champs, and they can't really do that when they're being kept away from the tag titles and being pushed as single stars, or quote unquote pushed, when they keep losing. Basically, they want the tag title shot. They believe they should have earned it. They rightfully did deserve it because they beat the champions cleanly. And then they were swept aside because the Destruction Crew's habit to, you know, take center stage because they're big men. Big beefy men. So when of 52, after, you know, being mocked by EC3, having his eyes open slightly, maybe, potentially, wink 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 wink. Samoa Joe seen walking through the corridor, like an on-screen, you know, interviewer walks up to him, and he just brushes past them, and you can see he's holding something, a contract of sorts, in his hand, as he goes into Paul Heyman's office and closes the door behind him. Ooh, what could this be about? Ooh, what could this be about? Such mystery afoot. Zenwayne of 53 now in a decent match, but debuting Timothy Thatcher defeats Matt Cardona in 12:57 by pinfall with the Thatcher stretch. I signed Timothy Thatcher at the same time as Shane Strickland. Didn't think of a perfect way to debut him like Shane Strickland. They want to debut him on the same pay-per-view. I thought I'd wait a little bit. You know, Strickland's been here for a few weeks now. It's been over a month and a half. So, what the time to introduce Timothy Thatcher by beating Matt Cardona. Timothy Thatcher with a 57, Cardona with a 55, Cardona with a 47. Seemed off his game, but benefit from a groundswell of public support. Ended up getting some win of 53. And was penalised for inconsistency, which is like the main reason people get penalised in my wrestling saves. And apparently everyone is inconsistent. The pre-match segment after they've made their entrance down to the ring, they were apparently both walking without a script. It worked out. Then when the 54, Gresham makes his entrance down to the ring, and before the challenger comes out, Sean Waltman, he stopped. He's like, Gresham has been working hard, defeating countless top names here in the company so far. But you have to remember, ICW is not the only place to hold great talent. You have to look through some forbidden doors and to find other great talent Gresham can put himself against. Wink, 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 wink. People don't know. We're a part of the Forbidden Door Alliance now. Wink, 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 wink. Yeah, I'd say both of them improvised well. Sean Portman did superb work. So, apparently he's great at that. Anyway, Gresham's opponent is Sean Spears. Zenwayne of 57 in a decent match. Oh my god, wow, that was, in a decent match, Jonathan Gresham defeats Sean Spears in 15:27 by submission with an octopus stretch, retaining the international title. Don't pay attention to what was said previously. He retained the international title. Sean Spears with a 42, Jonathan Gresham with a 63, performing great as always. Sean Spears inconsistent. Thank God he didn't win the title, right, guys? Ha 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 ha. Oh, that's annoying. Oh, that messed up royally. Main event time. Zenwayne of 61 and about that had good heat and a decent reaction from the crowd. Bryan Danielson defeats Destruction Crew member Jacob Fatu in 16:47 by pinfall with a quick cradle. Of course, after beating Jeff Cobb and after Bryan needing a match, he fights another member of the Destruction Crew one-on-one with Jacob Fatu. Bryan Danielson getting a 76, Jacob Fatu with a 54. Penalised for poor announcing. And it's a double main event match, help boost Bryan Danielson. As up next, Zenwayne of 50 to end off the show. Post-match, Bryan celebrates when Jeff Cobb quickly hits him with a tour of the islands. And then the Destruction Crew start beating down on Bryan Danielson when the Von Erichs rush out to make the save because they've had the issue of the Destruction Crew with last week's, obviously. So they rush out to make the slave side into the ring. With wave of momentum, they manage to fight off the Destruction Crew, and followed by Jacob Fatu, of course, had the titles on them. Jacob Fatu had his over by the timekeeper's area. Fallah Bahh had it on him. So they fight, they take one off, and they have one back. And as the Dragon Crew make the skirmish away, they forget about the other one. The Varnets have their titles physically back, and they've just helped the world champion get cleaned out. You know I'm on. So, you know, big things there. What could happen next week? Maybe a 3-on-3 match, maybe not. That sounds crazy. A 58. It's still a pretty decent show. Not as good as last week, but still a pretty decent show. Ah, shit. Shit. That's annoying. It's okay, I'll just have to fix it. There is a way I can fix it, so don't worry. Just the fact that you do have to fix it somehow. It's fine. Either I'll give him a second reign, or I'll do something really convoluted in order to make sure that Sean Smith never got the reign to begin with. Anyway, show did good, still lost popularity, gained in 5 regions. Canada, we don't have enough finish over there, so that's fine. The max over there currently is 40, so that's fine. Yeah, it's fine. Still, despite some of the big mishap there, which definitely didn't happen other way around, he retained the title, obviously. So other than that, it's a pretty decent show all around.